The latest development in Ukraine and Russia, where shocking images of civilian bodies in the streets of Bucha near Kyiv have led to an outpouring of international condemnation of Russia. France's President Emmanuel Macron says there are clear indications Russian forces have committed war crimes. He calls for more sanctions targeting Russian oil and coal exports, but doesn't mention gas. However, the defense minister of Germany, a key importer of Russian gas, says the EU must discuss banning it. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson accused Russia of despicable attacks, while the White House called it a punch to the gut. We have details in this report.
Ukrainian officials claim to have unearthed evidence Russian forces massacred civilians in the city of Bucha on the outskirts of Kyiv. It says mass graves in which 280 bodies were buried was discovered after the Ukrainian army liberated the city. Witnesses say the victims were civilians who had their hands bound before being executed. Bucha remains dangerous. Exploded mines lay on the roads. There is no gas, water, electricity, and communication. Satellite imagery released provided new information about the mass grave in the Ukrainian town, which has become a global focus due to shocking images of civilian deaths. The images from MagSat Technologies indicated the grave site was located at the Church of St. Andrew, Yerevozvanoho All Saints, in the suburb of the capital Kyiv. And as the fighting continues in the nearby areas of Bucha and Hostomel, Irpin is still well within range for Russian artillery. Across the Irpin River, the destruction caused by a month of confrontation between Russian and Ukrainian forces is everywhere. There are few unbroken windows, fallen trees in nearly every corner, and no shortage of broken down or destroyed military equipment. Most of it is Russian. Elsewhere, the Makariv urban-type settlement in the Kyiv region continues to suffer from daily Russian bombing. People cannot move through the street. According to reports, people cannot move through the street because at any moment, a rocket can fall and explode right next to them. Most of the houses and shops have already been destroyed, and the wiring in the bakery building is very badly damaged. Huge pits from explosions are on the roads and gardens, and fragments of glass and furniture are scattered around the destroyed houses.
The situation was not safe. Me and my family left the city on the 4th of March. I was here for the first 10 days of the Russian invasion. We left the city to a village on the Ring Road, and we saw how the Russians bombed the city. Now the occupiers have left.
This is my father's workplace. He's not here because of the war. I came to close the shop that was destroyed to keep the goods safe.
You can see what happened here in our surroundings. These are the results of the Russian invasion. The sound of shooting is not heard here. We know that the Russian soldiers withdrew from their positions, withdrew from the Makariv borders. This is the current situation.
Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has visited injured Ukrainian service members as Russia's attack on Ukraine continues during a visit to a military hospital in the capital, Kyiv. And rescue workers searched for survivors on Sunday in the ruins of the regional administration building hit by Russia in Ukraine's southern province of Mykolaiv on March 29. In the attack, at least 12 people were killed and 33 others wounded, according to local authorities. The Russian war against Ukraine, which started in February 24, has been met with international outrage, with the EU, US and Britain, among others, implementing tough financial sanctions on Moscow. At least 1,232 civilians have been killed in Ukraine and 1,935 injured, according to United Nations estimates, with the true figure feared to be far higher. More than 4 million Ukrainians have also fled to other countries, with millions more internally displaced, according to the United Nations Refugee Agency.